tube, and everybody watching this concert toe here, toe here. Today we will be reacting to how one girl traumas a entire industry with a love letter made of her. I don't want to say that. Yes, this is real. The original video got age restrictions, so if you miss me or me, so this is another dude that I'm watching. His name is Kurt Ritchie. Now, this dude does a lot of reactions, not reactions, like does a lot of videos about this type of stuff. Well, today we're watching about this. This is something I just found. I don't know nothing about this at all. Y'all gonna see some raw footage.
You
right
just
here.
created a monster.
See, the field you work in is tough, cutthroat, and unforgiving. Not just for you, but especially for your employees. In this industry, one mistake can end everything for everyone involved. So when the opportunity comes to help everyone succeed, even though it's through ethically questionable means, you jump at it. I mean, it's for the greater good, right? And it works. The numbers grow and the dedication of the consumer base intensifies. But things start to change. Your employees keep mentioning to you that they're getting this feeling that they're being followed, and not just sometimes, constantly, by a coordinated amount of people. Even weirder, some of their private items are starting to disappear, and we're talking intimate type stuff. They're even starting to find cameras installed in places that they should never be installed. You start hearing about surgeries, people changing,
I've seen this bit.
or heading back to your apartment at 3 a.m. after a 16-hour work shift. Job kind of sucks. Now, while you're on your way home, your driver ends up pulling up to a red light. But right before they do, an ominous taxi cuts in front of you, which is pretty weird considering you're already in a fucking car. Uber isn't even invented yet. Y'all should not be this pressed for customers. So despite the really weird taxi behavior, you tell your driver to go around, in which he replies, "We can't." To your left and then behind you, 2 more taxis show up.
Just imagine your driver telling you, dog, oh, fuck, we can't go around. What you mean we can't go around? And then suddenly every other driver can see, like, no, we can't go around. Like, multiple cars blocking the other ways. Like, dog, that's probably scary.
Wrapping the car at the intersection. And then 2 more to the left, then 3 more in front of you, 5 more, 6 more. About 150 taxis surround.
Oh, no. We gotta get out. I'm sorry. I gotta get out this car. If you surround about at least 50, 150, oh yeah, we gotta get out and run the fade. I'm sorry. You gotta get out and run my stuff. I ain't finna go down there and get kidnapped or something like that. You gonna run my fade. You gotta run that move. I'm sorry. I'm not finna sit there in a car with 150 taxis surrounding me. Oh yeah. Somebody gotta get out and run me my stuff. Somebody gotta get out and run me that. We gotta fight for this.
What the hell is happening? You feel your chest start to tighten up in fear, but despite it, you have to know what's going on. So you force yourself to try and look past the dark tinted window of one of the taxis, and you see something pressed against it. And that's when you realize what you're dealing with. One of the most frightening things on this planet.
What? A woman?
Fucking Vivi, no. Well, kinda. Okay, but seriously, I know depending on how lonely you are, 150 girls following you sounds like a wonderful scenario. But I assure you that this is fucking terrifying. So these aren't just any women. They were professional stalkers. And I mean professional.
It forces me to read the Bible every time I open my phone, 1 verse at a time. So I'm
professional in the most literal sense I can, because the passengers were paying the drivers to follow and cut off these cars. And one would think someone paying me what, 100, 200 bucks a day wouldn't be nearly enough for me to break traffic laws and just barricade a driver. Well, thankfully they were paying up to $600 a day, which calculated at the top rate for a week is about.
Oh, them niggas was getting a bag. Them were getting a bag. You tell me you would pay me $600 a day? You know how much that is? Dog, you know how hard you have to work to get $600 to follow somebody in a dang taxi?
4,200. And for that much, okay, I might break some traffic laws.
Oh God.
I might break some normal laws. Now, these passengers, they weren't some
$600.
unorganized mob. In
That's
fact,
pretty money.
they were a lot more like the normal mob. Very, very organized. Like, we're talking a network. Group chats with hundreds of members, information brokers selling flight details, phone numbers, home addresses, an entire underground economy built on one thing: knowing where certain people would be at all times. Which begs the question, who the fuck is certain people? I mean, it's gotta be someone damn important. But who the hell is important and is working 16-hour shifts? Look, the only reason anyone would follow me after working a 16-hour shift is to steal the money I just made from that 16-hour shift. Wasn't a politician or a CEO or even what you traditionally call a celebrity. They were a singer, an idol, in fact. A K-pop idol.
I see someone finally watched K-pop Demon Hunters.
What is that?
It's one of the biggest movies on Netflix right now. It came out just last week. Is that not why you're doing a K-pop video?
Last week? You see the length of this? You think I wrote this whole thing in a week?
Oh, definitely not. You could never.
Yeah, I started this at the beginning of June. Okay, you didn't have to agree so adamantly. We're talking mid to early 2000s when K-pop was still mostly a Korean phenomenon. But the fans? They were operating on a level that had not been seen before.
Oh God.
Now, what I just said might be coming off as a little extra. I get it, especially if you're from the West and you're uninitiated with this.
I know one problem. Shit like this with K-pop songs is scary as hell. Look, these dudes get the weirdest letters and things sent to him that it forces them to really quit singing and being K-pop idols. Because these dudes are trying to live normal lives. And being K-pop, even though they get rich and stuff like that, they're trying to live normal lives going to color. You got these weird stalker people. You know, I'm not talking about people that are like streaming or any of that stuff. You talking about, I'm about dudes that was really out there watching these dudes like being weird. Like this is their full-time job type of weird. How you get a nut out of there? Pause. But you see this. Damn. There's no way people like this with do. I'm trying to do them girls with that hard feeling. If this is before KLCs really started hiring like skilled bodyguards to protect them from these type of women. This is before all that shit started happening. Where K-pop had to get like really skilled bodyguards to protect them from any weird dudes. I'm telling you,
K-pop
scary.
fan culture thing like I was. Fan culture in the West is also crazy.
Taylor Swift has had more stalkers than the collective amount of times Asmongold has done his laundry. Beyonce fans are so notorious that I've left the joke that I was going to say for this section blank for my own safety.
But when making this video and I learned about K-pop, I realized it might have Western music fans beat in a different way. And that way being its intensity mixed with its organization.
3, 2, 1, go! First person to land.
Sorry, K-pop people. Let me get through it there.
All 6 bottle flips wins challenge 1. This video is sponsored by Go-Go Squeeze.
Being its intensity.
Man, I was not sure about this whole situation. But that got me thinking about them dudes had me just thinking about them dang stacker cup thingies. And when you stack a cup and then you gotta get down there and get the money. They were really stacking them one at a time and the other one did 2 at a time, and the one who did 2 at a time worked. Because he started at the top instead of just going like No, he did 2 at a time. So when he was done, he would already grab the money. But anyway, the reason I'm going to hell serious with the K-pop dudes is because as you watch them and get to know these K-pop dudes, you can tell some of their managers are good or bad people. And if you have a good manager who's trying to keep, you know they're gonna be like traumatized by those people. Versus the bad manager that's already has to deal with this, so he has to. Even though yes, he berates him as kind of a bit of a dick, he's already dealt with these and know how to get the situation to handle it. Versus the good one who can't handle that type of situation and get so traumatized by those stalkers as the fact that they get too much stuff going on. And it's a difference between if a K-pop idol is dating another K-pop idol and the fans actually like it because they want that person to date that person and they ship that person together versus when they they hate the fact that this person their favorite K-pop idols in a relationship. So they start sending death threats to the person that he's in a relationship with, and it causes that person, their K-pop idol, to come out saying they are not going to make music anymore if they keep sending death threats to the person they love. Then that's when they double down on it, and guess what happened? Their favorite K-pop idol quits the music industry and leaves, saying, "My significant other can't take this fact, and my spouse can't take the difference people saying, the stuff people keep saying about them, and that causes them to basically to think better, to not even think about that money. That money, dog. I care more about what being the other person. I care about them a goddamn shit paycheck over the fact of death threats and getting sent to me. Oh, that's just weird because I'm not gonna deal with that. That's just
Mixed with its organization.
Now, the 150 taxis should be enough to prove that, but let's just lay it on thick here. So to get a whole idea for this thing, I put a call out on Twitter to see if I could get any mutuals who knew about K-pop to give me the 411 on the whole thing. And I got a reply back from a user named Kyuka who said she'd been into K-pop since she was a teen, so this felt like a pretty reliable source. Oh boy, it was quite reliable indeed. Like in the West, we want to see our artists do well typically, so you might see the occasional listening party. But in K-pop culture, their version of that is far more with a purpose. With a K-pop stream party, it's not entirely uncommon for them to stay up all night playing the music with the intent of getting the streams up, which I find really interesting because doing this as a fan is usually looked down on from artists and others of the West. But allegedly, this is a staple of K-pop fan culture. Streaming parties can go on for days, apparently. In fact, many K-pop fans in these parties
Whoa, hold on, cuz. You mean to tell me that if they release an album, hold on, what did that say? They said if we release an album, if them dudes release an album, they go
others
on
in
for
the West.
days.
But allegedly, this is a staple of K-pop fan culture. Streaming
Every so many fans organize a streaming party to keep their success up for their fans who will stay up all night or even decide dedicated days to playing an album. That would tell me if it's one song, they stay up all night playing that one song. Or if it's a full-on album, they will stay up for days on end playing the full album of this K-pop stream. And these K-pop songs be long, so you staying up a whole night for an album is crazy. And albums contain mostly the 10 to 5 songs. And you're listening to that many K-pop songs for a whole buku days in a row, no sleep. Oh yeah, you on something, cuz. You gotta be dedicated.
Parties can go on for days, apparently. In fact, many K-pop fans in these parties set records and goals to hit so their idol can be deemed successful. Like, it's very clear that there's this more militant, intense expectation of protection over your favorite groups compared to something like in the West. And if you think that's cap, BTS's fan name is literally ARMY.
Literally. Like, I'm scared.
Bro, there was even a thing, I think a joke where I think somebody said, I think on stand-up comedy where imagine you see a K-pop dude pop up with pink hair out of the ground, and the last thing you see is them do this. They do this, and then let off shots at you, and you did. And that's the last thing you see people do is this. And then you just gone, cuz.
Of bees, but I'm really scared of the army, bro. Another example of this intense organization is stuff like fan chants. In the West, you go to a concert, you sing along, you scream, and that's pretty much the vibe. But in K-pop, companies literally release official chants for their fans to memorize, specific words at specific times.
Wow, okay, we trained a demon in here, cuz.
And everyone is in perfect sync. This article I found likens it to a sports chant, which I think is pretty crucial in identifying how serious they're taking this. Like, say, people in New York's connection to a New York artist, it's gonna be deep. But people's connection to the Knicks? What are you talking about? It's the Boston Tea Party! It should look like the Christmas parade! How the fuck did he even get up there? There's a level of defense here that goes deeper than what you would for someone you just casually support. What are you talking about? It's the Boston Tea Party! It should look like the Christmas parade! How the fuck did he...
How did he get up there? Bro, what is you doing on top of that? How did you get up there? How is he getting down? Get
up there! There's a level of defense here that goes deeper than what you would for someone you just casually support. And even for when they don't support it, that gets taken mad serious. K-pop fans, when they are not down for whatever an artist is doing, will organize something called a black ocean, where thousands of fans simultaneously turn off their light sticks, plunging the entire stadium into darkness. It happened to a group called Girls' Generation in 2008.
Just imagine you're on a stage. Dancing, doing this, like jigging, like all the rest of that stuff. You hitting all them dances and stuff like that. And if your fans don't like you, they just hit this. Pure black. I'm talking. And bro, imagine that just happened. Like you just, bro, that ain't scary. Like you just see the fans just go pure just darkness.
Concert. Nearly 70,000 fans coordinated to turn off their lights for their entire 10-minute performance. The members said it was like no one...
And bro, they be having albums. So every song's at 10 or 20 minutes. Dog, that's 10 minutes. So that's 5 songs. 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, 70, 90. That is, by the time you reach 50, you're already at an hour. And you have 10 or 20 minutes of this. And by the time you reach the other 5 of the songs, that's a full 2 hours of streaming non-stop songs for 10 minutes each song. And most songs don't even last 10 minutes. If you see all those other songs, most of those songs that you listen to don't last 10 minutes. They last 4 or 5 minutes. Minutes tops. I'm gonna prove this. I'm gonna come back to this. Hold on. I'm gonna prove this by going towards one of the songs I have. And y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna gotta deal with this ad, which I'm tired of. But please go away. I ain't got time for this. Yay. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, go away. So, watch when I click one of these songs. Look how long this song is. This is a 2-minute song. And I'm gonna do 3 minutes. 9, 4, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3. Tell me how on those songs 3 minutes, and you have a 10-minute song. Do you know how long you're singing for 10 minutes? Let me close this app. Yo, bro, yeah, I'm telling you, imagine that. You're chilling and see that long of a thing. Do you know how crazy that is? I know y'all see the little thing right here. But dude, that's a 10 minute song.
First ever
You know
mobile
how
basketball game
long that
officially
is?
licensed by the NBA and NBPA, and it drops.
Member said it was like no one.
That is crazy. 10 minutes of pure song is crazy. 10 minutes. Do you know how long that shit is?
Was even there. So why though? Why does K-pop create this level of dedication that makes Western stands look kind of casual? Well, it's because, and this is really the best way I can describe it, the K-pop industry is kind of K-pop idols have to go through a lot. One dating scandal and your career's over. You're caught smoking, goodbye endorsement. And the industry cycles.
And those K-pop contracts are so strict. You're not allowed to date or get caught. You can't even like jerk it without getting. If you get caught jerking it like in private, or someone that catches you doing it like from the window of your living room, or something like that, catch you spanking it without the curtains closed by accident, and they catch you. Guess what happens? Your whole career is over. And you could be a K-pop artist. They find out you dating anybody that's not a famous or more famous K-pop artist, or that's not approved by the K-pop fans. The K-pop, those dudes will immediately stop the contract because you're not allowed to date anybody. You'll ruin that contract. You'll lose all fame that you've ever had. You'll keep their money, but you're gonna lose all that fame that you got. You won't be able to do shit else, and it won't. And they, I think, also the ones that the only way you can keep staying with them is if you publicly release a video of you breaking up with your girlfriend, and that be so fucking rude. I'm telling you, it be so rude. You be like, dog, you clearly see the fact that we both love each other, and it be the most craziest stuff. Unless you break up with that person, they will terminate that contract, and they can do it at any time too. It's not even a joke. Them dudes do not care. At any point in time, they can cancel your contract. Shit, if they find that you're not gonna break up with this person because they don't want to upset their fans, they care more what their fans and most people. That's what most companies, K-pop, not all of them. Most of them say, "Oh, just keeping it secret and pretend you're not together." Is there and all the other stuff?
So fast that if your group flops, the labels will cut you immediately. No second chances, no maybe the next album will do better. Meanwhile, there are things like boot camps that are apparently churning out your next replacement. These idols train for years, go through rigorous auditions, and when they finally debut, they have to be perfect. Always. The standards are impossibly high and the margin for error is basically zero. So when you have an industry that intense, you get fans who match that energy. Kind of because they have to. Think about it. If your favorite idol.
You have to be perfect looking every time you go out. I'm talking about dudes get barely any rest without millions of people bombarding them with pictures. Do you know how annoying it gets when the first few times you get paparazzi stuff like that? Oh, you know, like you get the first few times you get paparazzi, you're cool with it. But after constantly getting hit with paparazzi picture, that shit gets annoying. They always see a flashing light in your face, dog. That it gets so annoying. And then there's like millions of them flashing at different times. That gets hypnotic and gives you the most severe headache of all time.
could lose everything from one mistake, if their group could be disbanded after one bad album, you're not just casually streaming their music anymore. You're organizing streaming parties, staying up all night to boost numbers, mass voting, defending them online like your life depends on it. Because in a way,
This is K-pop. That means this is Korean pop culture. This is over in Korea. No, this is like North Korea, South Korea type stuff. They have K-pop artists in both regions. I don't think I've ever seen a K-pop in Japan, like Japan's own K-pop like groups. I don't think I've ever seen one. I know Koreans speak fluent English though. I know them niggas do. You know that them niggas speak fluent English.
their career does depend on it. And this creates what was explained to me as a super extreme halo effect. The idols become these perfect beings who need protection at all costs. And when you're doing all this for someone literally fighting to keep them employed, that relationship gets parasocial quick. And if you think I'm capping, there's literally data to prove that.
So upon looking into the fandom, a researcher named Lee Unkel,
Struggling a bit.
Look, man, I'm not trying to sound away. I'm just historically bad with the pronunciation of some names, especially if they're non-Western typical.
Oof. Good luck.
What do you mean, good luck?
Well, considering you're talking about K-pop.
Woo! Boy, you finna struggle. Oh yes, he's speaking facts. Boy, you finna get hit with word blockers.
Korean
yes.
pop.
Oh. I just like to say that I'm not racist, I'm just not good at sounding things out. Okay, anyway. A researcher studied K-pop fans from 2014 to 2017, interviewing 277 women in their 20s. And the findings? Being a K-pop fan wasn't just a hobby. It was part of their identity.
Lifestyle.
Terms like worshiping idols came up, and liking idols was described as part of their everyday ritual process. So it's clear that the K-pop fandom, due to its industry setup,
I'm talking about glazing to them. Glazing, basically an artist like that, and basically this is their lifestyle. They are that into this. That is their lifestyle of loving that person. And if somebody who doesn't love them or hates them, every fan will target that person and ruin their life just to show the fact of how powerful they is and how much they love that idol. Dog, they are the most fiercest K-pop people ever, bro. You go against K-pop fans, you're losing, dog. That is, you can't jump on them people. They will fuck you up, dog. Some of them might not be able to fight it. It don't matter. They got the numbers. I'm telling you, dog.
is naturally going to be intense, which sucks because
And bro, I remember some of them even some K-pop dudes beat an actual like army in the Korean army. And the fact of it is, it's more dangerous the fact that you find out some of these dudes have guns. I think some K-pop Koreans own like weapons in that area. So you have to be careful what you say about a Korean idol in front of some Koreans, or they might jump you. Cause I'm telling you, they gonna fuck you up. You might not ever come home. I'm telling you. And some of you just be having like mafias over there, Korean mafias or something like that. Them dudes also K-pop artists. Like that was crazy.
in every fandom, there's toxic people. So when the toxic people are this intense, we're following people 150 taxis. And what's even worse is that that's not some random escalation. That is just the inevitable result of what this situation has caused. In fact, maybe more so than most would think. See, back in the 90s with first generation groups like Hot and God, fans camping outside dorms wasn't really seen as problematic. In fact, the agencies managing these idols encouraged it. They leak information about where idols would be, probably because they wanted the crowd, the chaos, the obsession. Why? Because
YouTube, this music in the background is not mine, it's his. It's his video. Like putting it back just to make it less boring of him just talking. Just leave. I would do the same thing, but I would just leave his thing in there. Because for one, I don't have the patience to edit any of that shit out. Of that music in the background. I don't know where the hell it's coming from. So, and then most people would download YouTube videos, like on different sites to help with the editing so they can take away the background music out of that video and just only leave the person's voice.
More fans meant more buzz, and more buzz probably meant more money. And in an industry where you could be
I'm not
cut at
lazy.
any moment,
I
having
figured out
obsessive
raw
fans
footage.
was proof you
I'm
deserved
not
to
gonna
keep
say
working.
that
So
too
by the
many
time we get to
followers.
TVXQ in the mid 2000s, you got 150 taxis following them on any given day, to the point where members are saying they're getting phobias of taxis. In fact, one of these stalkers had gotten so persistent, so annoying one day, that one of the group members, Chong Min, decided he felt like Light Yagami.
This is the first time in my life that I've been provoked to hit a woman.
And this is all caught on
Bro, like was so on the end. Bro, just said, first time last time I ever felt before thinking of a woman, I was right. Like did not care, bro. You mess with him the one way, but he could have pimp slap you on God. And that girl was such a simp. I swear, if you do a simp a Hall of Fame, I feel like Sakura, that girl in there, I forgot who else, is like the most craziest simps. And another thing is, everybody, I'm gonna watch a video of reason why people hate Korra, and you're gonna see how the fact of why everybody hate Korra, she ruined everything. And the reason what everybody has to do is you went out your way to try and be a good avatar. But instead of ignoring the bad stuff people were saying, you decide to play into it and cause all the nations, the Fire Nation, the Water Nation, the Earth Nation, and the Air Nations, you cause all of them to hate any type of avatar that will come to the next. And bro, imagine that an avatar coming into the world and basically finding out that they hate it by everybody. And that means nobody's willing to help them. Nobody's willing to go try and see if they are. Their emotions do not matter. That's how bad that is.
camera, by the way. He gets out of the car, grabs her, and drags her out of the taxi, bro. And I bring this up because this and other incidents like this was the moment that people realized that this type of behavior was happening so often.
I think this guy didn't get like in trouble behind it due to the fact of it was found out that she was stalking him, and everybody found out and was like, oh, that's the reason why he did it. It wasn't because he hated women. So dude, that girl, I'm pretty sure was stalking the hell out of him, and he got tired of it. So he pulled and told that girl to get out the car. And I think the taxi driver, I think she wasn't even mad. I think she was more happy with the fact that he touched her than the fact of she got out of the car.
And so intensely that we just needed a name for it. And that's when the term
I cannot say
I'm not
that.
good with intro,
The other one,
but welcome to my channel. If you're seeing this video, that means you're not subscribed yet.
and that's when the term
Shushing.
Oh boy.
Give me
I
a
can't
second.
see it. Reaction video.
You want me to ask Care?
no, I got it.
This does not bode well.
Sasang was created. Sa meaning private and sang meaning life. Fans who invade private. And now that we got a word for it, if you thought the taxi situation was rock bottom,
Oh
bro,
no.
you have not seen anything yet.
Yeah. You get that.
So post these incidents, the term sasang has now been a true proper thing in the K-pop community. It also kind of led to sasang behavior getting progressively worse. So let's walk through a timeline of sasang behavior, inevitably leading to one of its most formative incidents. And by timeline, I mean the
Wait, this.
weird
Dang.
shit I've ever seen in my
I recognize your fragrance. Hold up, you ain't never gotta say shit.
I feel like a lot of people will say stalking and being this parasocial is very unemployed behavior. But I'd argue that it can be employed, and when it is quite worse. In 2017, Brave Entertainment, a Korean entertainment company that had K-pop idols under their label, noticed something was off. Personal information about their solo artist, Samuel, kept leaking.
That is literally a normal Western name.
I don't know, man. Private schedules, personal photos, insider information. Staff would know. At first, they thought it was a hack. Maybe someone bought information from disgruntled employees. The truth was much worse. The leaks were coming from inside the company. Now look, leaks happen at companies all the time. At worst, it's usually someone who's just disgruntled about their job, and at best, someone just forgot what they said was under NDA. But the problem is that these weren't just employees selling information. See, if you look, there's a thread on Twitter, as some fans were doing some investigating about the leak. And during said investigation, the full picture emerged. Two of the employees at Brave Entertainment were former Sasang. In fact, they were notorious ones of a group called K&K. One of them, known as Pink Hair, had a whole resume of stalking, like how she used to camp outside K&K's building, or she'd cried fan signings to make the members uncomfortable, or bash them on anonymous Twitter accounts. Homegirl had an extensive resume, so in order to flesh it out, made a real one. Pink Hair ended up applying for Brave Entertainment's marketing team.
What?
And got on. And turns out, unemployed behavior is far more effective when you're employed. Fans reported seeing her at music shows where both Samuel and K&K were performing, and where she was supposed to be doing her work supporting Samuel. Instead, she was in the audience cheering for K&K. Beyond that, she was giving Samuel showcase tickets to her friends, using her staff privileges to get closer stage positions, and allegedly uploading personal photos of Samuel to her own Instagram, all while also running a fan site for K&K. Now, after about a month of fans exposing the situation with receipts and witness accounts, Brave Entertainment finally acted. And on September 4th, 2017, they posted, "We've taken measures to have them resign. 2 of them have been fired." And the reason I brought this one up first is because this wasn't an isolated incident. Saesongs have been doing this for years, getting jobs at airlines to see flight bookings, phone companies to track calls, credit card companies to monitor purchases. Bro, they're going through the entire...
Hold on, dog. I didn't know nothing about this. We halfway through the video, dog. I didn't know nothing about this, dog. I just got chills. Bro, just imagine the person, if you go on, just imagine you going a regular, like, item onto an airport, and nobody, like, flash the cameras and you're acting that everything's being normal. You know, they know who you are, they know you're being, like, just trying to have a normal day. And while trying to board a plane to go to another place, you get stopped by saying, "Oh, we gotta take my son." By a female staff, they have like security person, and they have to pat you down and all that kind of stuff. And the entire time, without realizing it, they was a same thing. There was a stalker stalking you good. The entire time, you had no idea. And as soon as you leave and you find this out, I bet you were so sick to your stomach. You let this girl pat down your legs, your arms, your sides, your stomach, your back. She even had to feel like around here or mess with your head to make sure no one was in there. Dog, that would be so horrifying and would make me throw up at the fact of you did all that. Oh my god, that would make me so fucking sick. Oh my god, that would make me so damn sick. That was so nasty. Oh no. And I'm not talking about nasty in a good way, I'm talking nasty in a bad way. That is a bad level of nasty, dog. I bet that's traumatizing.
Hiring process, background checks, orientation. Bro, they're writing cover letters so they can just get closer to people. I don't even want to write a cover letter to get a job. I don't. Let's talk about what happens when you get a bit more creative with it. All right, picture this. It's 2012. You're Park Yu-chun from the group JYJ, formerly TVXQ. And you've been dealing with Sasangs for 8 years at this point. You know the drill. They follow you, they came outside your building, try to touch you at airports, you know, the whole shebang. But lately, something's felt...
You get so used to it that you don't mind it. And heck, sometimes you get so used to some routines of stuff happening, you don't mind it happening. But when something really, really bad happens, and it gets to a strange level of crazy stalking, you don't predict this is gonna happen. Versus what happens with the other fans, like they come to airports and all that stuff. They all this, stuff like that just randomly happens to you. You have to take that. And some men be sitting there really crying in secret over the fact that they cannot tell anybody that it got that bad.
Friend. Every time you come home, you get this feeling like you're being watched, even in your own parking garage. Your private, gated, supposedly secure parking garage. I mean, security's limited, but no one should be back here. But it's not like you have any security cameras set up that could check anyway. So you start doing this thing where you hide behind concrete pillars, peek around corners, and scan the garage before making the dash from the elevator to your car. Your friends probably think you're paranoid. Hell, you think you're paranoid, but you check the garage and...
Yeah, right, son. Just imagine your friends don't believe you're being watched. Your family don't believe you're being watched. Everybody don't believe you're being watched. Even sometimes yourself, you don't believe you're being watched until the fact what you looking at you busy. You sitting there creeping away. Oh, making my reaction. Look back, come here. Don't run. But imagine that. What next? What? Just imagine that though. You just trying to get in my lap. No. What, Jax? No, you can't have it. You too big. You can't lay in my lap, Jax. I gotta lose these to get up. You have a problem with trying to lick me. But, bro, man, this is the same dog in the other video. I just couldn't show my camera wasn't showing because I forgot to enable the entire screen instead of just one simple app. I didn't turn off my notifications and it was popping up mid like things. So I was like, oh, it's supposed to record an app while the camera's acting. No, it has to record the entire screen. We got Seagull app. But this is scary. Because you're imagining, nobody's like watching. You're paranoid the fact that nobody's watching you to the point where, you go up past Charles. And it's to the point where, you're just not gonna, you're just paranoid. It's just make up. It's make believe. But once you get to that point of where, it's probably just my imagination being followed. Until pictures and stuff start popping up, and then it comes true. You're being followed. Someone's secretly watching you. Knowing your patterns of it. Know where your car is at.
Nobody's there. You make it to your car, everything's fine. Just your imagination, right? But this feeling goes on for days, weeks. It's a feeling that never really goes away, but nothing ever happens. No one's ever there. You're safe in your own home. Except, remember when I said there were no security cameras in his private garage? Remember when I said there were no security cameras in his private garage?
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. So, where the hell did the images I'm showing you now come from?
Well, on July 10th, 2012, the answer to that question appeared on Korean...
There's this freaking thing called how one girl traumatized an entire industry with a love letter. I'm not going to say what type of... it was a blood love letter, but I'm not going to say what type of blood she used. That was nasty.
online community board. Some Sasangs had snuck onto his property and installed their own CCTV system in his private parking lot. And in fact, they were so proud of this accomplishment that they uploaded the footage online like it was some kind of trophy or something. Every paranoid moment, every time he hid behind a pillar, every cautious peek around a corner, they were watching all of it and then posting it for other Sasangs to see.
What's crazy though is that a month or so before this incident, he'd opened up to an interview about how he felt about Sasangs.
It's really hard to understand them anymore. I've tried for years to understand them and accept them as part of the fandom, but I honestly do not believe they are true fans.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say this probably didn't change his opinion.
Now, surely this isn't gonna get any worse.
I made it worse.
On January 20th, 2014, a message appeared on some social media, and it was an advertisement for the selling of some clothing. That clothing being underwear.
And not just any underwear, used underwear.
Hold on. No, hold on, good. Wait, hold on. How the heck they got that underwear? Something ain't right. Hold on. Wait. Is that the fact that that's his that's a K-pop idol's underwear? How did you get that underwear, cuz? How you got that underwear? Something ain't right here. Hold on. Whoa, what's happening?
Oh, but don't worry, it wasn't used by the seller or anything. On the post, the seller wrote, "I am selling the underwear of Do Kyung-soo." That's D.O. from EXO.
My niggas can't catch breaks, bro. My niggas can't catch no breaks. Bro, they can't catch none. They can't catch no breaks. Bro, you can't catch one. Oh, dog. You can't catch one break. Oh, no, dog. Dog, I'm on my knees right now. Bro, what the
It was one of the biggest K-pop groups at the time. Now, you might think this is just some scammer trying to make a quick buck off some gullible fans, selling some fake merchandise. That type of shit happens, right? But then the seller has some details that might make you rethink it. I personally got it from their dorm. It was extremely hard for me to...
What? Oh, minute. Hold on. What? That would mean you are somebody trusted or somebody that broke into this nigga dorm and took his underwear. Hold on, dog. Wait a moment. Hold on. What? That whole part about the dorm caught me off guard. What? Oh, no.
Obtained. You don't believe me? There was a couple of hair strands on the underwear that you could test for DNA. Ugh.
What the hell?
I'm saying, because who steals someone?
What are people supposed to cross-check the DNA with to make sure it's really his underwear?
That's the thing you worrying about. They got this thing underwear. Bro.
She easily could still scam buyers.
Dog.
Disturbing where your priorities are.
What's even wilder is that she gave them such a thorough examination that she realized there were pubes on them.
Well, if you're gonna go through all that trouble, you might as well take a good look at them.
And in the ad, she had them up for sale. And she was selling them for 100,000
Oh, people was flooding.
Korean won. About $94. $100,000 Korean won. About $94.
I'd buy them.
What you mean?
What is going on with you today?
No, not for me. But if she's selling them at that price, this is just an investment.
We cannot buy the dip of dirty underwear.
But they weren't done because this wasn't just a one-time theft. I also have socks. I'm going to go next week to get Sehun's underwear if you want to reserve it. Now look at it. I want to say that again. Reserve it. Reserve.
We are pre-ordering niggas draws now?
Bro, she even had a business.
Juwan, come fix your phone. I got you, man. Yeah, back. Your boy back with that goodness. Hold on, I gotta show you this. Flip it around. Look at this goodness. Look at this goodness. Seasoning on that bit. Oh yeah. You know that's good. You know that's good. Get my camera straight. Alright.
Disappointed customers and said, look, I cannot get through EXOM's thorough security. She had a whole catalog of underwear, socks, individual strands of hair, all stolen from their private living space and all for sale to the highest bidder.
Had a 20-year-old bitch in high school. Wasn't no telling what Travis might do on the south side of the HOU.
Meet Rion, who is, and really remember this, 15 years old when she started following Suho from EXO. Just a Japanese teenager with a crush, right? Well, if we're saying it this deep in the video, you know it's gonna be some. There was a difference between Rion and the typical Japanese high schooler girl who loved idols. Again, 15, I don't know how, but she had money. And a lot of it, apparently, and a plan. Sometimes during interviews, K-pop idols would talk about their ideal type when asked. Like what traits they're looking for in someone they want to date. You know, it's usually vague stuff like someone who's kind or like, someone with long hair. It's standard celebrity stuff. But Rion, she took notes, detailed ones, and really applied them. And got plastic surgery. Homegirl got multiple procedures to transform herself into Suho's stated ideal type. When you let that sink in, a teenager surgically altering her face and body to match what a celebrity said in an interview. But the surgery was just the beginning. Ron became basically Suho's shadow. She'd wait outside practice rooms, follow him through airports, try to grab his arm in public. She even ran a fan site taking photos of him constantly. And this isn't just some random fan, okay? She became infamous throughout the community, to the point where people said if there was a picture of Suho, there's a solid chance Rion was in the background somewhere. But it gets worse. See, at EXO's 2015 concert in Manila, Rion showed up in the front row, and she had a sign. Now, y'all have seen fan signs before, and often they'll be a little out of pocket.
I would sell my family.
For me, I would sell my family for you, you know, stuff like that, right? Hers said, yeah, that's what she held up.
I gotta set my food up for this. Hold on. I don't even read what that says. She what? She put that on a post. Don't let catch one! Bro, can't catch one break. Can't catch one. I'm telling you, can't catch one. Bro, there's no way. You can't even catch one break. Dog. And this girl was 15. You were that into that dude? I have no words.
Concert in front of thousands of people. In fact, there's a video of the moment Suho saw it, and you can see him looking into the crowd, seeing something, and his whole demeanor changing. When Chen, another member, tries to comfort him, Suho brushes his hand away. He's clearly visibly angry and upset. And bear in mind, Suho was in his mid-20s. Rion was 16, a minor holding up a sign asking an adult to, and she's still around to a degree and has a social media presence, since apparently she's moved on, but Lord help whoever she's moved on to. And honestly, there's a lot more than just that stuff. There's quite literally a whole catalog of nightmares, like the Sasaengs who shaved their head and dressed as men just to follow male idols into the public bathroom, or the no pants Sasaeng who went up to BTS at the airport wearing, well, take a wild guess. Speaking of no pants, some Sasaengs apparently resorted to prostitution in order to keep up their little hobby, or that thing who went up to BTS at the airport wearing, well, take a wild guess. Speaking of no pants, some Sasaengs apparently
She went with no clothes. Tell me I'm lying.
Their head and dressed as men just to follow male idols into the public bathroom. Or the no pants Sasang who went up to BTS at the airport.
She's wearing no pants? Oh no.
Airport wearing, well, take a wild guess. Speaking of no pants, some Sasangs apparently resorted to prostitution in order to keep up their little hobby. Or that time in 2006 when a fan gave TVXQ's Yuho a drink laced with super glue.
Not to victim blame, but...
Baby, please.
Okay, to do a little victim blaming.
Oh, and I feel like this video has been leaning one particular
please.
way the entire time, so let me clear that up now. Like, remember at the beginning when I said the most frightening thing ever was a woman? There is one thing even more frightening.
The man.
A man.
I was gonna say.
For example, the time in 2020 when a Sasang found an idol's location by zooming into a selfie and analyzing the train station reflected in her pupils and then showing
What is
up
wrong with you?
to assault her. And then there's stuff like, bro, Josh? Honestly, I might save that one for a whole other video. Josh, bro? Oh. But to me, there is one incident that stands above them all. One that became legendary, not just for what it was, but for what it started. Because in 2009, the competition for Idol's attention reached a breaking point. Because someone was about to change the Sasang game forever.
So I ball so hard, motherfuckers wanna find me. But first niggas gotta find me. What's 50 grand to a motherfucker like me? Can you please remind me?
Boom. November 28th, 2009. A date that lives in K-pop infamy. All right, picture this. You're Ok Taecyeon from the K-pop group 2PM, and you're at the height of your career. Your group just got perfect. You're hosting variety shows, and life is pretty good. And sure, you deal with the occasional overzealous fan, but that's just a part of the job at this point, right? Well, it feels like that until you get elected. Part of the job at this point, right? Well, it feels like that until you get a letter. Now, fan mail is normal. Artists get letters all the time. Love letters, support letters, please marry me letters, written in glitter pen, like, you know, standard stuff. But this particular piece of mail would have ramifications on the K-pop industry as a whole because, you guessed it, it was written in blood. Yeah. See, the way we even know about this isn't because Taecyeon went public with it. The sender herself posted about it on DC Insider's 2PM gallery, which is basically Koreans' Reddit for K-pop fans. Now, the letter itself was only 3 lines, and the first line is a doozy. And probably what separates this from any typical blood letter. I dedicate to Taecyeon my period blood letter. Pause. I was.
Oh no, I might stop eating my food. Oh. Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I might stop eating my food. What? My camera back? Bro, I might stop eating my fucking food. Oh my god. What? There wasn't regular blood, mind you. As you said the thing, this was that type of blood. Bro, I would feel so fucking disgusted. It's not just the fact of that, it's the fact of you really. Oh, that's nasty. That is so fucking nasty.
Praying that was a translation error. No, bro. Homegirl wrote this letter in her menstrual blood. It was even crazier. She announced it like this was a selling point, hitting it like Slab's hood. You know how much pussy blood is fitting? And also, that was the first line. Second line says, "Okay, Taecyeon, you cannot live without me." Presumptuous. But the third line is what really seals the deal here. Sprinkled with a few strands of my pubes.
Pubes are getting a lot of mileage today.
I'm saying. So when other users on DC sites started questioning if the blood was real, homegirl doubled down. So there's only one way to prove haters wrong.
Receipts. Our bros, I really wish there weren't any, as she posted pictures of her blood-stained underwear as proof. Like, I get proving people on the internet feels good, but sometimes it's not worth it. So the Korean internet collectively lost its fucking mind.
This is what. Hold on. Whoa, hold on, good. And the fact that she really sent that out to him. Fuck my jaw hurts. Take down to the kitchen. Hold on now. You know my bottle. Oh, fuck. Yeah. I'm finishing this video off. I can't eat my food while doing this shit. I'm too sick to my fucking stomach.
Understandably so. The post went viral and pretty fucking quick. Other fandoms started mocking 2 PM fans. And 2 PM Gallery became synonymous with place where unhinged shit happened. But then, because of course there's always but then, something even more disturbing occurred. A trend. Within weeks, other idols started receiving their own blood letters. Not in pussy blood, I think, but still kind of crazy. And each sender felt the need to one-up the last one. See, in December 2009, Lee Jun from MBLAQ got a blood letter. But the sender? She had opinions about Taecyeon's situation. Her letter came with a message that said, "What's up with Oak Taecyeon's period letter? If you're gonna do one, at least do it right. How dirty? Period blood? Act your age." Your age? What age is sending blood letters? Bro, oh, period blood? That's so high school. Like, what? Trigger warning. She then proceeded to write her letter, and what was claimed was good old wrist blood, complete with photos showing her cutting herself, which is a step in the right direction from the pussy blood, I guess, but that can't be.
Actually, menstrual blood is way more efficient for letter writing than...
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Stop
See,
talking.
the letter to Junli also said, Changsu,
Don't think that.
Jun's real name, don't forget me. You are everything to me. I love you. Remember that. Sujin. But it doesn't end there. And in January 2010, a Wonder Girl fan decides to join the party too. And she cuts her wrist and writes, "Wonder Girls come back," in her notebook with blood. And posts the photos online with the knife and wound for, visible authenticity. Now, if we're doing the math at home, that's 3 blood letters in 3 months to 3 different people. It had become a legit phenomenon. Entertainment companies behind some of these idols had to put out releases, like official statements, and fan sites started banning blood authentication posts, which is a real term they had to come up with. Agencies even threatened to exclude anyone who sent blood letters from all official events, which, again, good call. Now, the girl who started this whole thing, when the backlash hit, she tried to backtrack. First, she claimed the photos were found on the internet, but when no one bought that, she said she wasn't a sasaeng, just overly obsessive. Girl, you sent a man your menstrual blood with pubes. You're caught! And of course, people kept attacking her. So in response, she posted what might be the wildest offense on the entire internet that I've ever seen. Our country's people are too into witch hunts. I didn't commit a crime.
which is a point that I get to a degree, and that very often when someone does something wrong, it's shamed to the point where the punishment doesn't fit the crime. We talked about that a bit in the furry video, but then she added, "You should be thankful I didn't write it in shit. The more you make me mad, the less I'll hold back." Man,
that's crazy.
Man, be thankful I didn't write it in shit is not the defense you think it is. But here's what really gets me about this whole situation. This wasn't just one fan going too far. This letter created a whole new category of fan behavior. Before November 2009, the worst thing Sasang did was steal underwear and to break into houses, which, as I say now, is still kind of fucking insane. But this is some fucking summoning demons, 8th circle of hell type shit. Never thought I'd say this. I miss the normal stalking. Truly a new ceiling for dedication has been established. And that's the real horror of the story. Not just the letter itself, but what it represents. Landing crossed and there was no going back. The parasocial relationship had evolved into something darker, something that required actual bodily sacrifice to prove your devotion. There was this level of ownership over the idols that the audience had that definitely went too far. But like I was saying before, whose fault is that? Like, I feel like in every fandom, you are going to get people who get toxic when given some form of parasocial relationship. But the way the idol industry is set up, I feel like this kind of behavior is exasperated almost. The real tragedy isn't the blood or the stalking or any of this chaos, really. To me, it's the fans who are so desperate for connectivity that they'll literally bleed for someone who's also being pimped out by a system. And I don't know, maybe that's the lesson here. Genuine human connection is only gotten through genuine human connection. No amount of blood or money or dedication can turn an experience into a relationship, even if it's with menstrual blood.
That's a video, dog. Loved it. Thank you guys for watching this video, but I couldn't bear this. My food, that was nasty. My jaw hurt. Ugh, Jesus, people are getting. Bro, it's not even a joke. Y'all like somebody out chop damn too. You addicted to them all. They felt you might need to take a break. Thank y'all so much. How one man NPC almost killed the entire franchise. Anyway. Thank y'all for watching. Goddamn. Oh, man, shit. But make sure you like the video, subscribe. See what I did for more videos and more reactions. Peace.